Hello everyone and welcome to CPAC 2023. I'm your host Amelia Kane, and joining me today is former ambassador to Denmark under the Trump administration, Carla Sands. Mrs. Sands, thank you so much for being here today.
It's so nice to be with you, Amelia. Thank you so much. I'm such a huge fan of Judicial Watch's work that I've held fundraisers for Judicial Watch. I love what they're doing, and there's no one else in our country doing the hard work that this amazing team does.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Regarding China, everyone is starting to learn that the FBI said COVID-19 probably originated from a lab in Wuhan. Who will be held accountable for this? What are your thoughts?
Well, so in my opinion, Amelia, I think that we should hold China accountable, and I believe that they owe us reparations. I believe that the loss of life and the loss of our precious businesses as well deserves to be compensated. And we know that the Chinese Communist Party knew that this pandemic, the COVID-19 virus, was active in Wuhan and killing their citizens. And they shut down the flights from Wuhan to the rest of China, and they opened them from Wuhan to the rest of the world. But they did more than that. When President Trump said, I'm going to close the borders to flights from China to protect American citizens, they got Tedros, who runs the WHO, which the Chinese Communist Party controls, to say negative things about President Trump's efforts to protect American citizens. And then they pushed European countries to accept those flights from China. And we know what happened. Tremendous loss of life in northern Italy because those flights were welcomed in, for instance, Italy. So we know that the virus came from the lab in Wuhan, and that is open source information. It's not secret information that I'm sharing. And China has to be held accountable.
Following up, how big of a threat is China, and is the United States prepared? Because we are the world superpower after all.
We are, and China's leaders and their generals have said publicly that they will defeat the United States and they will take back Taiwan. So they've been saber rattling. Meanwhile, our current administration has been saying they're a competitor. China is a competitor, and not acknowledging, if somebody says you're their enemy and you say, no, we're friends, we're not enemies, we're going to do more trade with you, you probably would say that person's foolish. And especially when China is an existential threat to Americans. We know that they have a bigger Navy than we have now. They're ramping up their arms and their capabilities, and they're not doing it the way we do it, through multiple bureaucratic processes that we go through at the Pentagon. No, they're doing it super fast and lean. So they're targeting to have a lethal force, and we're still going through the kind of 1970s, 80s process of bureaucratic effort and buildup, and that's not how we're going to succeed. We also have to make things in America. Like, we're not manufacturing everything we need to defend ourselves and our allies. And if we're in a conflict with China, which now they're threatening to back Russia and give them arms, so that will be a proxy war between US and China, not just Russia. We have to be able to have all the parts within easy reach, not being made 2,000 miles away, just in case they shut down free transport over the air or over the seas, because they're attempting to now expand their control. For instance, there's an island called the Solomon Islands that no longer welcomes American and British military vessels. They only have Chinese. So as they try to block our free transit and goodwill among all nations, which they're doing through often debt trap diplomacy, then we have real challenges in how do we project not just our strength, but also manufacture our arms.
Absolutely. And being the world superpower, how did we allow the Chinese spy balloon, or should I say Chinese spy balloons, to come into our airspace? This just doesn't make sense to us.
Right. There was also one just over Latin America. I was there a few days after it passed over Panama, for instance. So the Chinese are really taking stock at a low, clear surveillance, not from a high satellite, but from a low altitude, and able to collect information, not just images. And why our government, which knew it was there, didn't shoot it down before it entered our continental space, I'm not sure. But we do know that Joe Biden's family is compromised, right? They've done business deals and benefited from these deals by selling influence with Chinese, Ukrainian, and Russian government officials and government-associated companies, sometimes state-owned enterprises. And so we have real trouble in America when our commander-in-chief is compromised with our greatest adversary, who has declared that they will defeat us. So they intend to be the global hegemon. I hope that Americans will wake up. I hope that American companies will begin the decoupling. I'm reading that major American companies are intending to invest more in communist China. And this is not about the Chinese people, who are hardworking and very intelligent. It's about the Chinese Communist Party and their evil spread of communism and totalitarian control around the world.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador, for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, Amelia. Take care. Enjoy CPAC.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And to support our work, please visit judicialwatch.org. Thank you.